Good morning. My name is Greg Bayor. I'm Director of Parks and Recreation, and that's a blessing because we're at one of our beautiful new parks here today. Soon to be a new park, Waterworks Park in Tampa Heights. It's all part of the mayor's vision to have both sides of the river active with Parks and Recreation and to have more people enjoy this wonderful amenity we have with the river and this special historic park we have here. I'm going to walk you through today on some of the really neat highlights, some of the historical features, and some of the things that are going to be really wow for the kids and for the parents to come down. We anticipate a grand opening later this summer. It'll be an evening opening so we can enjoy the cooler weather. And I've been hearing something like we might even have fireworks down here besides the performance and some very special honorees being presented. So the park is historical and there's a lot of things that we're going to work on that day. Besides fun stuff, we'll have face painters and activities for the kids going on. So we'll let everybody know a little later in the year as we get closer to the grand opening. We're going to have that happen. We're standing right now on one of the bridges overlooking the springs. The original springs, if you notice over here, is the natural setting. This has been here for well over 100 years. Well, probably hundreds of years. It's the Eulalie Springs. What we found is fascinating is in the center of the springs, you'll notice there's a little island there with a couple, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 palm trees. 2 were just donated. I understand they're very unique, the little low ones. I think they're called needle palms. But the point is, we have a postcard from like 1905 of people interacting in this spring with a boat and that island's there. So not much has changed on that end. However, if you go on this side over here, this is the dramatic new change. You're going to see the new spring we've added. And what's dynamic about this is that we've cut a hole in the seawall, we've reached the seawall, the spring water is flowing into this new lagoon, and it will attract manatees. And you notice we have a little stone wall coming down there. People can get closer and interact with the manatees when they come in. So we're very excited about it, and fish have already found their way up in here. We've got mullet in the park. Okay, boy, this is really the exciting part of the park. We're going to give you a little tour here, quite 360 degrees, but we're going to do a little panoramic here of all the exciting features. Believe it or not, right now we're in the middle of the performance lawn. You can't tell because of all the construction, but this lawn will probably hold 2,000 to 3,000 people, and it's a very intimate setting. We're taking a look right now at a new pavilion, which, by the way, is being sponsored by the Downtown Rotary Club. So we're very grateful for that sponsorship. It will be covered, so we'll be able to have our performances no matter what the weather is. I don't know if anybody will be here in the bad weather, but we'll be able to go on. The show must go on. Sound system, electric, storage for all of our equipment. So it's a new exciting venue for us, unlike Curtis Hickson, which we have to put a stage up each time and take it down. Looking around here, well, we're going to show you these large white structures are actually picnic pavilions, rentable. We hope people will come down for birthday parties and such. And behind it is going to be the most exciting new park features in the city. You can see the beginnings of the rope climber, which will be put in. Behind that is the more picnic pavilions. And if you look over there and you see that great big yellow bucket, that's a splash park. And that bucket's going to fill up with water, and it'll fill up and then won't fall right on the kids. It'll fall over on the roof and splash and be dispersed out all over everybody. And then there'll be a lot of ground features of different kinds of water elements. You won't be able to see it from our vantage point here, but there's a lot of playground pieces over there. Spring toys and various things for kids to climb on and play on, and very age appropriate. And for those who don't have kids, but they have their favorite pet, there's going to be a beautiful dog park, and it'll be in the shade. And to make it even nicer and more sanitary, we're putting down a full rubberized surface underneath all the trees, and so we'll be able to clean that every day and make it nice and healthy for everybody. Another portion of the park that I'm delighted to talk about, we're of course standing on Riverwalk, which will connect from North Boulevard all the way down to the Historical Museum. So it's going to be exciting, and someday we'll be across the river. We'll have both sides totally connected. The part we're going to have in the park over here is the Clarify Gardens, and it's a monument to the wonderful work she did. And it's historical, and there's going to be a couple of things during the grand opening. We were going to have historical people down here, interpreters if you will, talking about the clarified gardens, and also talking about the spring restorations. So it's also going to be an educational day to come down to the park. Well, this is the last portion of the park, and certainly not the least. We're going to see over on the one side here where we're putting in a period gazebo, which would be off to the side of the pavilion, and it'll be probably a great place for weddings. And so we expect to see a lot of activity in regards to rentals and more family reunion type things down here. Standing behind me, you're going to see a lot of earthwork going on. We've done a lot of ground mitigation, contaminated soils and waters, and we're putting in stormwater controls, which this giant concrete feature is here. But most importantly, on the very end of the park it's going to be a boardwalk that goes into a point like a ship's prow. And on the end of this point, we're going to have a giant maritime flag. You'll be able to see it from all the highways. It'll be lit all night. Certainly not to take away from the grandeur of this, but I would also like to highlight that as all part of the mayor's vision, we're also under design right now for Julian B. Lane Park, which is just right across the river, and we're doing Perry Harvey Park next to the Encore project downtown. Two multi-million-dollar projects which are really going to change the park system inside Tampa. But more importantly, this is the one that's next up. It's in the batter's box, and we hope everybody comes out for our grand opening later this summer.